Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to talk a little bit about fielding technique, and we're going to worry about just from the point that you get down to field the ball when you're in your fielding position. That's all we're really going to worry about. I've had a couple of past videos where I've talked about what you do in preparation to get to the ball, and then also what happens after you field it, the way we use our footwork to throw to first base or second base or wherever we're throwing. So if you want to see that, you can go back to some past videos. But for today, just fielding technique when we're down in the fielding position. So I've got a video of Derek Jeter. For one, I just have a lot of videos of Derek Jeter. He's easy to get videos of, so that's why I look at him a lot. But also, he's played in the big leagues for a long time, played shortstop, the most demanding position, and he's a great fielder. He's won a bunch of Gold Glove awards. So let's get to it. So we see Jeter here, and I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. Not worry about this beginning part. We've already talked about that. But where I really want to start to pay attention is this point right here. So he gets down into position. Now, if it's a ball hit straight at him, what I would start with talking about is when we field the ball, we're going to go right, left, pick up the ball. So that's your rhythm. As we start to charge the ball, if it's hit straight at us, we start to break it down. We're going to go right, left, field the ball for a right-handed player. And since we're talking about the left side of the infield here, that's going to be all right-handed players. So right foot, left foot, pick up the ball. From there, a couple of points we want to talk about. Let me put a little bit further here in the video. Okay. Couple of points here. This is how I would do it if I was going over with a player. A couple of key points I like when fielding the ball. First thing is you want to have your feet spread a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. It's going to let you get down there a little bit better, going to let you get a flat back. It's going to put you in a more athletic position. And if you see Jeter, his feet are tough to see here, but they're just wider than shoulder width apart. The second thing is the position of your feet. So you want your feet to be square to the ball. Now, some guys like to have their left foot a little bit in front. Some guys like to have their right foot a little bit in front. That's not that big of a deal. The big thing you want to watch out for is if they're too staggered. So you wouldn't want to have your left foot way out here, and you wouldn't want to have your right foot way out here, because that changes, that turns our body, and we're not square on the ball. We want to be pretty square on the ball, especially when we're talking about the left side of the infield, because we have to get our bodies going to first base. We have a longer throw, so it's important that we do things a little bit more technically right. So you want to keep them as square as possible, and you can go a little bit, maybe an inch or two with either foot if that's comfortable for you, but stay away from going too much staggered. And you can see here watching Jeter that he is almost perfectly square to the baseball. The next thing to talk about is to sink the hips and get the butt down. And if we watch Jeter, we see here he has his butt down, sinked his hips, good knee bend. You don't want to have your butt high to where you're just bending at the waist, and now we don't have our knees bent. We're not in a good athletic position to make a move in case the ball happens to go someplace we don't expect it to go. We need to be in a good athletic position with our butt down, our hips sunk down. Another thing that does is it gets our head and our eyes closer to the ball. The closer we can get our eyes to the ball, well, the easier it's going to be able to field. It's also going to be easier to see if the ball happens to take a bad hop. Our eyes are closer, we'll field better. It's the same thing if you think about your bunting. It's a lot easier to bunt when you get your eyes in the action, get down there behind the bat and see the ball. It's easier to bunt. If you were to stand straight up and put your bat to bunt the ball and your eyes weren't very close, well, you wouldn't have as high of a success rate at squaring the ball up when you're bunting. Same exact thing when you're fielding. You want your eyes down in the action. It's going to make it easier to field. Okay, so after that, the next thing is to have a flat back. Same thing. The butt down and the hips being sunk down and the flat back, that all goes together. You have a flat back, it lets your hands get in a good position, but it also gets your head down and close to the ball and your glove out in front. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about, is having the hands out in front of the body, but having them soft. So there's a difference between having your hands out in front and letting that arm or get your hand so far out in front that you're completely extended with a really hard elbow. If you put your hand in front of you right now, get down into a fielding position, if you extend it too far, you get tight. You feel that tightness in your elbow, your arm gets tight. Now your hand's going to be tight. You're not going to have as smooth hands. You're not going to have quick hands in case of a bad hop. You're going to be stiff. So you want your hands out in front of your body so that you can see the ball and you can see it into your glove in case it makes a bad hop. But you don't want it so far in front that you're tight and you have no movement. And if a ball happens to make a bad hop or you need to make an adjustment, your hands will be too stiff and now you're going to have hard hands instead of soft hands. You've heard it all the time. You want to have soft hands when you're fielding the ball. So it's really important to get the glove out in front, but not too far in front that we're stiff. Just enough out in front so it's out in front of our eyes. The next thing is to have a good glove angle. So you want the glove open and a good angle to the ball. And when I'm talking to little kids or younger players, I like to tell them that you have two eyes inside your glove and you want to show the eyes to the ball. Just an easy way, because a lot of kids will have their gloves either turned so that they're not completely open, or they might even have them closed and they flash it open at the last second. And this is all going to lead to, yeah, maybe you can do it, but every now and then, if your glove's not in a good position, well, you might make an error. You might not open your glove in time. It might not be facing the ball, so if it takes a little tricky hop, you might not be able to get to it, and there's an error that could have been prevented if you just showed the glove to the ball, make sure it's open in a good position. The next thing is what our bare hand is doing. So our non-glove hand. You want it somewhere above the glove, and you want your fingers up, not your fingers down, for a couple of reasons. One, if the ball happens to hop up and your fingers are up and open, well, you might be able to deflect the ball back down into your glove, and that happens every now and then. If your hand's not up, well, you're not going to have a good chance of knocking the ball into your glove, but also, you've probably experienced this, ball comes up, hits you in a finger and a fingertip. You could break your finger, break a nail. I know it sounds kind of girly, but those hurt, and they sometimes put you out of action. So have your fingers up and your bare hand above the glove for not only knocking the ball down, but also it puts us in a good position to transfer. So when we field the ball, a lot of people focus on fielding the ball, but just as important is transferring the ball from the glove to the bare hand. And if you get your hand in a good position, well, it's going to improve your transfer. And there are some plays where it's going to be a bang-bang play. We get it out nice and easy, make a throw, and we get them bang-bang. There's other times where if your transfer hand isn't in a good position, you might double clutch at the ball, you might not grab it. It might take you a long time to get the ball out of your glove. Now the base runner's getting down the line, and we might not get him on that bang-bang play. Next thing is where we're fielding the ball. So what you want to do is field the ball from the middle of your body to your left eye. What that means is you want to field the ball on the left side of your body. Not so far to the left that we're reaching way out here, but slightly left of center. That's why a lot of coaches will say left eye. That just happens to be the point that coaches will refer to. So I think about fielding the ball to my left of center or left of my midline, preferably over my left eye. You don't want to field the ball to the right side of your center for a couple of reasons. First reason is the more the ball is on this side of you and you start reaching back, your hands are going to get tight. It's tough to keep soft hands when you start moving further and further to your right, because your arm is going to start to get fully extended the further you go to the right. Now you have a hard arm, hard elbow, and your hands get stiff. Tougher to field the ball that way. Second reason why is now if we're reaching back this way and we're playing the ball at our right eye or our right ear and we're on the wrong side of our body, the ball is starting to get beyond our center here, our chest. So if it happens to take a bad hop up or something happens, well, it's going to scoot by us into the outfield, and we're not going to be able to knock the ball down. Our first, and our usually our number one priority is just to field the ball clean. But every now and then, it doesn't happen. Maybe you get a bad hop. Maybe for some reason the ball just kind of hits up in the heel of your glove and bounces up. Well, if the ball hits us in the chest, we still have a chance to pick it up, especially against a slower runner, and make a play. If we're fielding it too far over here and it comes up, well, it's not going to hit our chest. It might hit our shoulder and bounce off. It might completely miss us. And now that second chance or that rebound play that we could have possibly had a guy out, we're not going to have him out anymore. He's going to be safe. We're going to get the error. The last thing to remember is that when we're fielding, we want to field from the ground up. We want to get into position with our bodies. A lot of people worry about fielding. They talk about the hands all the time. The hands do everything. Well, it's true. You got to have good hands, good soft hands to field. But your body is what's going to help put your hands in the best possible position to field the ball. So we need to make sure that we get our bodies down low, in the right position, and we got to get there early. You want to be there early. One of the problems, especially a lot of younger guys, is they get their gloves down and open late, and now they're rushing. They're not able to get down there early, see the ball into their glove, and they're going to be more successful that way. So remember, from the ground up, get there early so you don't have to rush. If you put your body in a good position, everything's going to happen for you naturally. So I hope this helps. Try this out. It'll make you a better fielder. And give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.